Awesome, awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. If you weren't here yesterday, you missed out. It was a wonderful day, but you're here today, and that's what counts. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jess. I am the founder of so it's great to have everyone here. If you can put yourself on mute, what I'll do is I'll just change the security so that people can't unmute themselves, just so that everyone can hear during the presentation. We do have Xavier here today. Xavier, if you want to wave. If
Good
anyone
morning,
knows
everyone.
Xavier, if anyone knows Xavier, say hello. Awesome. I know some Koala Go teachers are here too. I know Alison is here. She's like a Koala Go super fan. Hi, Alison. I was talking to her yesterday in day one. Okay, so we're going to get started, but I would really love to hear where you guys are from. So if you want to just write in the chat quickly, hi, my name is, and where are you from around the world? Would be great to see. So where is everyone from around the world? You never know, you might see someone who's up the road from you. Okay, I'm going into the chat. Where is everyone from? I can see someone's from South Africa. Awesome. All the South Africans. I love you. I used to live in Durban. Awesome. Botswana. Amazing. Okay, some people from the States, from Spain, from California, from the UK. Awesome. I'm British. Hello. Lola's saying hi to Xavier. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great, it's great to have everyone today. Well, welcome. So I'm going to get started with a little introduction about the mini course. Hopefully everyone has signed up for the mini course. If you haven't, then what I'll do is I will pop that in the chat. Because the mini course is where you can find everything. So the mini course is where you can find all of the replays if you want to watch the replays of anything. If you want to get the bonus, like Xavier's giving away a great bonus today, then you need to go into the mini course to do all of that. So I have just popped that link in the chat. So day one yesterday, if you missed it, the replay is now available. And again, that's why you should go into the mini course, check that out. It would be great for you to watch the replay. And then today we've got Xavier from Koala Go. Yay!
Good morning, everyone.
It's awesome to have you here. I'm so looking forward to having you share with us. Xavier is going to introduce himself just now, but that's what's happening today. Tomorrow, don't miss it. We've got Katie from A Bridge Academy and we've got Brenda from Young Learners Curriculum. They are going to be sharing with us about curriculum that we can use on Koala Go. Okay, if you're not on mute, please mute it. Xavier, maybe you can help me as a co-host and mute anyone.
Yeah, I've been very impolitely muting everyone.
And in
I
security
apologize.
settings, you can also click not
To mute
allowed
everyone.
to unmute. Thanks.
Got it.
Thanks. Bit of housekeeping this morning. All right, just to remind you, inside of the course, you've got self-paced lessons you can watch before coming to the live groups. You've got the Zoom links. So tomorrow you are using a different Zoom link, which is the one that's in the course. It's my Zoom link from yesterday. You get your homework. So if you do homework, that's awesome. Gives you some tasks to do. And you do get those replays. You get the bonuses. There's an action tracker too. So if you do all of the things on that action tracker, you are able to keep the entire content of this course and you can even win bonuses there. So I really encourage you to do that. Now, I know that a lot of us are enjoying the mini course so far and we've still got 2 more days of it, but what is after the mini course? I want to remind you that after the mini course, we are going to go straight into something called the 4-week launch challenge. Now, this mini course is set up to help you figure out the software that you need for your independent online teaching business. But if you want to find out the marketing skills that you need in order to find students, to attract students and lots of students so that you can even fill group classes with, then this is the challenge that you might want to consider joining. It does start on Thursday. So we've got today, we've got Wednesday. This challenge starts on Thursday. There's a big group of people who have already signed up for this. I'm really excited to be able to go through it with you. So week 1 will continue with scheduling and payments and Canva marketing. Week 2, which will be next week, this is where we look at creating a funnel for you as online teachers to be able to attract students into your business, to be able to nurture them, to be able to get them to become paying students, and then also to do referral marketing. In week 3, we look at finding students on Facebook. Okay, you can find students globally, even in Asia on Facebook. The only place which is restricted a bit is China. And that's what we're going to do on week 4 with Katie. She's going to help us with finding students in China for your online teaching business. So you can find information about that inside of the course, okay? It is in the course there. If you look in the header and the footer of the mini course, and if you want to, you can check that out with this link here too. Okay, so without further ado, I'll pop that link in the text box so that you can get it, and then we're going to get into Xavier's presentation. Okay, thanks everyone, and Xavier, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jess, for this energetic introduction. I know you fantastic ESL teachers are used to waking up early in the morning. For me, not that much. It's 6 a.m. for me, and it's early. And fortunately, I have my espresso with me, but I apologize in advance. Please give me a couple minutes to get up to Jess's energy level, but I'll get there. So, for those who don't know me, I am the co-founder and CEO of Koala. We've built Koala because we thought Zoom is great for adult-to-adult communication, but it's not ideal to engage an 8-year-old online. So we've built a system that is more engaging, that is really tailored for younger learner. It's more interactive, and it has a lot of tools that are tailored for the ESL teacher. And actually, we've been working with Katie from Abridge for almost 2 years now, and she's been saying, I need this, I need that, and we've been building it for her. So if you like what you see today, you know who to thank. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share my screen and show you how to get started with Koala Go from scratch. Jess, I'm also going to make you a host so that you can just mute people if needed. And I think I should still be able to share my screen once I've done this. Great. Because we're a big group, usually I say, feel free to unmute to ask questions, but because we're a big group, if you have a question, could you please type them in the chat? And Jess, I will let you interrupt me if we have questions, or maybe we'll take a few pauses for questions. So I'm going to share my screen, and I encourage you to follow along. If you follow along the steps that I'm showing today, you should be able to you'll be a fully trained expert of Koala Go by the end of this session. And as Jess quickly mentioned, because you're attending this live today, you qualify for a free month of Koala Go Pro. So we don't even need to swipe your credit card. It's just a way for you to evaluate if this is a good fit for you. All right, let's get started. So first things first, if you're on a PC or a Mac, please go ahead and open Google Chrome. And I see, yeah, Michelle Petercy, if you don't mind muting, because I hear myself a little bit. So go to Google Chrome, and we're going to go to our website, which is teachwithkoala.com. That's teachwithkoala.com. All right, so once you're on teachwithkoala.com, this is our main website. You'll find a lot of resources. You'll find our marketplace. You'll find our tutorials, some events here. But for now, we're just going to focus on this big button that says Open Koala Go. So go ahead and click on Open Koala Go. To get into Koala Go, whether you're a new user or an existing user, there's two options. Either you sign in by typing your email here, click on continue, it will send you a code which you type and you're in, or continue with Google. I'm going to continue with Google. It's a little bit faster. Continue with Google, then choose your email address, and that's it. You're in. Gonna check the chat real quick if you have. Yep. Thank you, Allison, for helping. How much is a Koala Go subscription? Yes. We can cover this. Does Koala Go allow you to have a sub account? So Koala Go, and I'll cover this if we have time at the end, but you need one account per teacher. Is it possible in Koala Go to record the session automatically as default? Today, you would still need to click on the record button at the beginning and at the end, but we're working on a way to set it up as default, and we're also working on a way to save the recording on the cloud. All right, so we are in Koala Go at a high level. Koala Go has 3 building blocks. The first one is the whiteboard. The second one is the co-browser. And the third one is playground. I'm going to show you whiteboard and co-browser today, and I'll briefly introduce you to playground. So I am in whiteboard right now. It looks probably very intuitive for you. You're probably used to this type of interface, and I know you can figure it out because it looks like other tools that you may be using. So at the bottom, you have a cursor, a pencil, sticky note, and text boxes, which allows you to move things around, and you can draw lines. You have a little contextual menu on the left. You can change colors. You have a vanishing pen also that allows you to draw a line that will disappear after a few seconds. I really like this. I teach French in Koala Go every week, and I use the vanishing pen quite a lot. Maybe before I get more into the different features, quick question for you. What should I do to invite a student? What button should I press? Okay, Nicole wins the star. Top of screen, indeed. So I click on invite student in the top left of my screen. So once I do this, here this is important. You have this window that says share this link with your students. And then there's a link. This is important. This is my unique student invite link. Jess, am I correct to assume that close to 100% of our teachers today teach with students in China?
A lot of them do, but some of them don't. Some of them teach with students all over the world.
Okay, understood. Thank you. So here, by default, here is your student invite link. It means that you send this link to all of your students, and they will all use the same link to join. And obviously, this is your link. Nobody else has the same link. And it never changes. So this is your link. You can save it somewhere. If your students are in China, just check this box here and send them this link instead. Click here and it's copied. You'll see here there's a cn.teachwithkoala.com, China. And if you don't check this box, it says classroom.teachwithkoala.com. We've built this in order to optimize the connectivity with your student in China. So please use this if your students are in China. So let's say you have, yeah, go ahead, Jess.
Oh, sorry. So I've also got that video that I've used from Bilibili, which is a Chinese-based YouTube. It's a video for parents to watch. Definitely send that to them before you start teaching because it explains everything to them in Chinese. So
Right.
I can grab that link and put it in the course as well. So I'll pop that in the course for everyone.
That's an excellent idea. My wife happens to be Chinese, and she shot this video for your so that you can send it to your parents and students for them to get started. So once again, to invite a student, just click on Invite Student, and you'll see your video pop up on the left, and it gives you this link, which you can share with your students. Allison, would you do me the honor of joining me as a student? Would that be okay? And I think you can't unmute yourself, so I'm going to assume that it's a yes. Oh yeah, I see it in the chat. Awesome, Allison. So let me send you my student invite link. So all I'm doing right now to invite Allison is I'm sending her my invite link. And for Allison to join me, she'll simply click on this link on her PC. She could, if she has a PC, she uses Google Chrome or Edge. If she has a Mac, we encourage Google Chrome. If she has a Chromebook, we encourage Google Chrome. If she's on an iPad, we encourage Safari. So there we go. So right now I'm in my classroom. I've prepared a fantastic lesson, as you can see on my whiteboard. There's a bad circle and a triangle. So it's going to be obviously a very interesting class. And I have my students joining me, Allison. And you may have heard this little pop-up sound. And now here's what I can do. I can accept Allison if I'm ready. If I'm not yet ready and I'm finishing the previous class, I can click on, sorry, I'm just going to ask, I think one of you is not muted. Jess, do you mind muting? Thank you. It's Erica. I think Goredin. Thank you so much, Jess.
Got it.
All right, thank you. All right, so poor Allison is waiting. And I'm going to, if I'm ready to let Allison in, I'm going to click on accept. If you're not yet ready, you can click on hide, and the notification goes to the side. And then whenever I'm ready, I can bring my cursor and it shows the notification again. If you want to refuse Allison, you can click on the X here and it says cancel request. But right now I'm going to let Allison in. And here I'm going to match her with her profile, Allison. Yes, that's the one. Allison. So, yeah, oh yeah, it's true that I can't. Actually, let me see if I unmute you. Can you speak right now? So I think I'm going to keep you muted right now. Okay, I'm going to keep you muted. So, and Allison, I see your video is frozen. Note that, yeah. Oh, no, you're good.
It might be because there's two different browsers going on, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's Zoom and Koala. So, yeah, so if you're on Windows, only one application at a time can use your camera. So you'll need to choose between Zoom and Koala Go. Now, I see you, great. And yeah, Jess, do you mind unmuting Allison on Zoom?
I will ask her. So I'm going to give you permission to unmute Allison. So you can do that and unmute.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Is that good?
Perfect. Amazing. I hear you now. Great. So we're on a whiteboard. You, the teacher, you have full control over what you and your student can see. This means that if you want to zoom out, so you're going to use your trackpad and swipe 2 fingers up, it's zooming out for your student as well. If you want to zoom in, swipe down with 2 fingers on your trackpad, it's zooming in for your students. So what you see, your student sees. The whiteboard is an infinite piece of paper, and you can also move things to the left by holding right click. And as you hold right click, you have this little hand that shows up, and then you can move things to the left or move things to the right. Same thing. My student Allison sees what I see. Let's say you get lost and you zoom into nothingness. Don't worry, we have this magic button that says Fit View to Content, and that brings you back to an optimized window based on your content. Okay. So, and what Allison sees is more or less the same features, the same buttons, the same icons, with some icons that are only visible for the teacher, obviously. So let's resume. We talked about drawing, which allows you to draw on the whiteboard. We have sticky notes. So you simply click on the sticky and then type any sticky like this. You have, and every time you select one of those 4 icons at the bottom, you have this contextual menu on the left, which allows you to change the color, to duplicate. It also allows you to lock, so you can lock sticky notes so that they cannot be moved. You can associate an audio, like a sound, to it. So click on audio, say, ah. And that way, so for instance, if you're teaching phonemes, you can just associate a sound with each letter tile. That's something that you can do.
Xavier,
and
we've
on
got
the
a
white
question. Sorry.
Oh, please.
We've got a question, which is, can you add PDFs to the board?
Yes, absolutely. And I was going to mention this. So you can add PDF by just clicking in the bottom left on Upload Files. Click here and then just drag and drop your PDF and add it. And I don't think I have a good PDF. I only have boring legal and financial documents, but I may have an image that I can drag and drop. So you can add an image by also clicking on the bottom left and then selecting the image, or you can just drag and drop it from your computer to the whiteboard, and it will show up here. So here I dragged an image and it's showing up here. Any other question, Jess?
Yeah, there's a question. What if the PDF has 20 pages, and does that work with videos as well?
20 pages should be okay. Don't go beyond, because it can start. It will work, but it will take time to import it. And videos, no, you cannot yet import videos to whiteboard, but I'm going to show you a much better way to play videos if they are on the web.
That's all.
Okay. Before I forget this, I tend to overlook this minor feature, but it's essential if you teach a foreign language. You have a chat with automatic translation here. Meaning, yeah, go ahead, Alison.
I type it in Spanish or something?
Sure, yeah. So I'm going to turn on the translations. So the way this chat with translation works is that it's going to, if you turn on the translations, it's going to look at the browser language of your student and the browser language of the teacher. And if it sees a message that is not in the browser language, it's going to translate it automatically. For instance, here, Allison typed Spanish, but my browser is configured in English, so automatically it's going to translate to English. If Allison is in mainland China and her browser is configured to Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, and I type English, hello, how are you? It's going to translate it to Chinese.
Xavier, does that show up immediately for your students, or do you have to do something to bring the chat up for them to see it?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. So if you, the teacher, decide whether the chat is visible or not, here now it's not visible for you, Allison, right? Do you confirm?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. And if I click here, it shows the chat. So yeah, so this can be very valuable, especially if you're chatting with the grandparents, because the kid is currently visiting the grandparents and they don't speak a word of English. So this is the type of scenario where this is valuable.
Okay, we've got another question here, which is, can the students chat to each other, or is it only to the teacher?
The students can chat with each other, yes. But, so, sorry, there's no, let me rephrase. The chat is public and there's only one channel. You cannot do individual DMs between participants. Great. So, okay, so we talked about, I'm going to talk real quick about controls. So you as a teacher, you can disable student interaction. Okay, so let's say Allison is not behaving today. She's very excited. She had too much sugar and she's drawing all over the whiteboard, which is not okay. So Allison, bad Allison. So how do I control and how do I make sure that Allison doesn't do this anymore? I can first of all disable student interaction by bringing my cursor on the left on her camera, and then the first icon says disable student interaction. If I click on this, Allison cannot draw. So those 4 icons at the bottom will be grayed out for her. And then to undo this drawing, I'm going to click on undo. And that's it. Problem fixed. You can also mute or unmute your students. You can also turn off their camera. And a feature that is pretty valuable is you can also remove the students. So if you click here, he will tell you, would you like to remove the student because class is over, or would you like the student to instantly rejoin? Class is over will remove them. Instantly rejoin will be the equivalent of a refresh on their end. Can I share the screen if the student and I are using internet resources for the lesson that have no PDF format? Yes, I'm going to get to the internet formats because that is one of the strengths of Koala Go. Before I move on to this, you have the recording here in the top left. This is manual recording. So you click on record to start recording. You click again to stop the recording, and it will save locally on your computer. It saves locally, it goes to your download folder. You can mute, turn on your camera. And this icon, devices, is pretty helpful to know about, especially when you need to troubleshoot. Click here, and then you have a drop-down menu for your camera. You have video background option where you can blur the background, you use an image as a background.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then and other settings, which I'm not going to get into today. You have a screen sharing option. So you know how this works. You click on share screen, you select what you want to share, etc. The screen sharing is okay. It is, but I'm going to recommend that you use the co-browser if you use anything on the web. And you'll understand why later. And this icon allows me to go to full screen mode. So that's also a way to control, if your student is drawing everywhere, you can put them in full screen so they can't interact with the whiteboard anymore. Are there breakout rooms? We don't have breakout rooms today, Joe. Would like to know about Word documents? To import Word documents, do the same thing as how you import PDF here. Just drag and drop here. And so click on the bottom left, drag and drop, and add, and you will add this. And I think I missed the question. Can I change the student permission before class? That's a good question, Rina. Maybe Allison, you know the answer better than me. I think
in the playground, I haven't been able to, so I don't think that you can in the whiteboard. I know you can't in the playground.
Yeah, I think by default in whiteboard, the students will have their permissions enabled, and you will need to disable them every time at the beginning of the class. I use PowerPoint, so how does screen sharing work? Yeah, so screen sharing, the problem right now is that I'm in Zoom screen sharing Koala Go, so I don't think I can also go to Koala Go and demonstrate a screen sharing, because the word will probably explode if I do this. So, but the idea at a high level, you click on screen sharing, you select if you want to share a Chrome tab, a window, or your entire screen. Let's say you want to share a PowerPoint window, you select your PowerPoint window and you click on share. I hope that answers your question. Okay, and what about saving the whiteboard? Sorry, maximum number of students? I think maybe 15 students. We've never hit the limit so far. We've never had a teacher say, hey, I got too many students and there was an issue. So up to 15 students. What about saving the whiteboard and reuse it in another lesson? Yeah, I'm going to talk about this. Before I get to this, we talked about this button. This gives you your student invite link. And here's the reward. So here's where it becomes a little bit more fun to be in Koala Go. You can click on a reward and you can celebrate with confetti. Or you can give stars. You also have a dice that to roll, you just click on it. And finally, you have gems, and we'll talk about gems a little bit later. Click on gem, and it allows me to give gems to Allison. If you want to do one at a time, click here. If you want to do a little bit more, click on the pencil. Say how many, let's say I want to give 10 gems to Allison. And you have a very satisfying sound. Okay, now I'd like to move to this piece here. Here you see slide 1/1 and then four squares and then a plus. Right now I am in the activity and the name of, sorry, I am in an activity and the name of this activity is my first activity. My first activity has one slide and I can add slides by clicking on the plus. I'm on slide 2 now. Now I'm on slide 3, etc. And I can go back to the previous slides by clicking here. Slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. To answer your question about saving, everything you do in the whiteboard is automatically saved into your activity. So right now, you see, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I used the vanishing pen. That's why it disappeared. I was confused. Yeah, the vanishing pen will disappear after a few seconds. So let me go back, put it 3. There we go. So slide 1, slide 2, slide 3 are automatically saved into my first activity. And you can, by the way, if you have many slides, you can click here and navigate through your different slides, reorganize them. You can even duplicate them by clicking here on duplicate. So this is how one activity works. What most teachers do, and Allison, I encourage you to chip in this conversation, but what most Koala teachers do is they name the activity with the name of their students. Would you say that's accurate, Allison?
So I usually name them by, like, am I doing verbs? Am I using Oxford Discovery? But then I'll make a copy of it and I'll put George, Oxford Discovery, Unit 1, Level 1 kind of thing.
Makes sense.
So I have the original and then I have one that he's been working on and working in.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, so Allison is a little bit of an advanced user, but that makes a lot of sense. So let's say if you're getting started, to make it simple, we're going to set it right now. I'm just teaching Allison. So I'm going to go on I'm going to click on here on my first activity, and it's going to take me to my activity library. And here, so the name of my current activity is my first activity. I can rename it. So let's say I'm going to rename it Allison and then save. And now you can see in the top right, my activity is Allison. Now let's say we've made fantastic progress in this activity, right? Like, this is very valuable ESL content that you see in front of your eyes right now. We don't want to lose this, obviously. So what you can do, because you have an upcoming class with Dylan, and Dylan happens to have the same level as Allison. So we're going to duplicate this activity. To do that, just click on Allison here, the 3 dots in the top right, duplicate, and it will duplicate those 2 activities, and you can rename the new activity as Dylan. go to copy of Allison and rename it Dylan. I'm going to rename it Dylan ESL2 because I think I already have activities named as Dylan. All right. Let me look at the questions real quick. Is there a limit for the reward system? No, there is no limit. You are limited in terms of the number of gems that you have. I'll talk about this later, but besides this, no limits. I love how the star changes after 5. Does the confetti do the same? Good question, Rena. I will let you, the answer is yes. Once you reach 5 confettis, something special happens, but I will let you play with it to see that for yourself. Is it possible to prepare the whiteboard way ahead of the lesson, add a PDF of it, etc., then name it, save it, and then go to that whiteboard and start the lesson where I'm going to use it? Yes, absolutely. So as you can see right now, if I go to my activity library, I can open any activity and they're all saved. And so that way you can prepare before your student joins. This is a very good idea to do that. Preparation is 95% of success. Is there a limit on how many whiteboards you can save? I see it copied the awards. Can you lower to start fresh in the copy? Yes, so is there a limit on how many whiteboards? There's no limit on the number of activities today if you're on a pro plan. And we limit to 3 if you're on the free plan because it costs us money to store all those information. And to refresh the awards, just refresh the page. When you refresh the page, those awards will go away, or click on the little X here and on the little X here. All right, we talked about activity and I know we're limited on time. So we're gonna wrap up whiteboard. I'm going to tell you about the one feature that I think is the most valuable in Koala Go. It is this icon. This icon with a little koala that says 24/7 is your live support 24/7 by a real human. So the Koala team has people a little bit all over the world, which allows us to cover every time zone. And we're here for you. So if you have any question, if you need training, if you want to ask about specific features, just go here and say, hi, I need help, please. And my team doesn't know that I was going to do this demo, so we'll see if how long it actually takes them to reply. But usually it takes us less than a minute. Mm-hmm. I'll see if we have questions in the meantime. Oh, there we go. So you say, hi there, Danny here. Thank you for reaching out. So honestly, I mean, I'm very biased, obviously, but I think the Koala team, the Koala support team is pretty awesome. So thank you, Alison. So you can feel free to ask anything. This is your resource. We're here for your tech issues, or we're here for any question, any training you might need. Feel free to go here, click on your student invite link here, copy it, paste it here, and you can ask Danny to join your classroom so that she can walk you through something, or she make sure that she can hear you properly, etc. Really, that's what we're here for. We know that when you're a live online teacher, you're playing with tech, and sometimes tech doesn't work, sometimes internet doesn't work. So that's why we're here, and that's why we set up this system. Having live support, yes. Not to be automated, but yes, that's right. Can you group the boards in folders by categories? Okay. Yes. So we've built something slightly better than folders. Click on your activities here. We have something called groups. So groups allow you to have, so for instance, here I can create a group for Allison because I'm just starting with this new student, a very promising student, if I may say so. Her name is Allison. And right now I've created this first activity, Allison, and maybe I should name it Allison ESL level 1. I can add this activity to the group Allison. And that way, if I click on Allison in the top right, you see the group here is going to show you only Allison activities. I did the same for Dylan. So if I click on Dylan, I'm seeing all the Dylan activities. And you see there's a little Dylan tag in the bottom left. What's cool about this system is that, let's say, this activity, phonemic awareness, Orton Gillingham Playground. This activity, maybe I want to use it for Allison and Dylan. So I can just go here, add to group, and click on Allison. And that way, that activity is both in the Dylan group and in the Allison group. So I like this system a lot. Once again, I'm very biased, but I think it's even better than folders. Can students share the link so I'll get students who aren't in my class being able to join the lesson? Or does Koala Go have a rooster feature so only my students can join the lesson? This is a good question, Christina. Today, anybody who has this link can attempt to join your class. And if they attempt to join your class, you'll see the pop-up in the bottom right. But you have to let them in. They cannot jump in your class without your green light. And if you admit a student before the class starts, maybe 15 minutes before, say, no, sorry, it's too early for you. You click here and you say class is over, and you will remove them. All right. I've talked a lot. Sorry, I'm rambling a lot, but you are now experts of the whiteboard. So I'm going to put a little check mark next to the whiteboard. And we're going to move on to the co-browser. Let me just remove those things. I'm going to put them on the left and put this here.
And can I just say, Xavier, that being on this side of it, like on the student side of it, was really interesting because, I'm usually on the teacher side of it. So all of the things that you were doing, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that happening in the background. I don't know if the other teachers are interested in knowing that, but it's kind of nice if you every once in a while get into somebody else's classroom so you know what your kids are seeing. So you don't just assume that they're seeing everything that you're seeing.
That's right. That's a good point. Very good point. Okay, so we're going to move to the co-browser. The co-browser is a tool that you open by clicking on this icon that kind of looks like the NASA logo. And it's a tool that we built specifically for ESL online teaching. So I think you will find it relevant. The co-browser is a browser that you and your students can play with at the same time. So right now, you can open a new tab in this little browser. You can go to any website you want. For instance, if you're a user, I know that tomorrow you have Katie from Average Academy talk to you. This would be a great way to use the co-browser. You go to this page, and right now, both me and Allison can interact with it. So let's say you log in and you go to your latest Genially slides, and I have this one as an example, level 1, unit 2, lesson 1. Right now, both Allison and I can interact with this. So here, I'm going to let you see, right now, Allison can type. So she's interacting with that browser. I think some of you are already familiar with the co-browser, but maybe it's a new concept for some of you. So let me see why this is very powerful. I'm going to try to find a slide that has some drag and drop. We can talk about videos real quick, actually, because there was, I think, a question about videos earlier. You can play a video.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and both you and your student will hear it. They will see it. Even if your students are in China, you can watch YouTube videos. Before I forget, if your student is in China, you see in the bottom right, it says students, and then there's 3 options: North America, Europe, Asia. All 3 should work for any student, but it's better if you choose the server that's the closest to your student in order to reduce latency. And I would like to see if I have There we go. Excellent. What's very strong about the co-browser is that anything on the web that requires drag and drop will work, even if your student is on an iPad. And I know many of your students are on iPad, so they can drag and drop components. Right now, are you able to, is it a drag and drop? Yes.
Yeah.
So right now I'm dragging and dropping the square and Alison is dragging and dropping the triangle. We can both interact with this web content. This means that if you use Google Slides, use the co-browser. Just go here, go to Google Slides, or maybe just paste the URL of your Google Slides here, and it will make it much more multiplayer. If you use WordWall, use the co-browser. You and your students can collaborate and solve that exercise together. You don't need, there's no cursor fight like on Zoom. No, my cursor, my cursor, my cursor. And if you need to disable your students' interaction, same story as before. You bring your cursor on the left and you can disable co-browser control right here. So right now, Alison cannot interact with the web page. I see a lot of reactions in the chat. 1 second, let me scroll
people
up.
are asking about if their students are in Africa or in Dubai.
If
what one to
teachers
choose.
are in Africa or Dubai?
Maybe like choosing Europe would be a closest browser for them to choose.
Yes, yeah. Choose the closest one. Once again, it's not, it will still work. It's just about latency. We have 3 main servers for the co-browser. If you are in Dubai or yeah, maybe Africa, I know in South Africa, if you have students in Africa and you feel like the latency is too much, let us know in the chat and we'll see if we can add a server closer to you. But it's never been a problem so far. Any other question, Jess?
There was one about the waiting period. So I know that on the free version, you only get 10 minutes of the co-browser every 25 minutes. Is that correct? But on the pro version, you can get the co-browser indefinitely, like unlimited.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I know that there were some questions about pricing, and that's a totally fair question. Yeah. So I'm going to go to teachwithkoala.com and I'm going to talk about pricing real quick. You have a free plan of Koala Go, and you have a pro plan, and we'll ignore the tutoring organization plan for now. Of course, there's only so many features we can afford to offer in the free plan. And one of them is the co-browser, which costs us a lot of money in the back end to run. So if you are on the free plan, you'll have limited access to the co-browser. And I think you're right, it's 10 minutes every 30 minutes. Whereas if you're on the pro plan, $21.99 per month on the annual, you'll get unlimited co-browser. The other question I think it was asked by Brenda is, how many activities can I have? Storage of activities also what costs us money in the back end. So you're limited to 3 activities on the free plan and you'll have unlimited activities in the pro plan. Note, however, that in the free plan, there's no limit in terms of class duration. We won't kick you out after 40 minutes, and there's no limit in terms of students. Important points, however, and Jess mentioned it at the beginning of this session, because you're attending this live today, you qualify for a free month of Koala Go Pro. And you won't need to swipe your credit card or anything. We're going to give you a free month of Koala Go Pro so that you can play with it and figure out if it's a good fit for you. In order to redeem the free month of Koala Go Pro, please fill out this form that I just sent in the chat. Put your name and email, and within 24 hours, we will activate your free month of Koala Go Pro so that you can play with all the functionalities of Koala Go. All right. Any question about the pricing? Yeah, Brenda is asking, is this for new users only? Yes, this is, you can redeem this if you have never used Koala Go Pro in the past. Yes, it's 1 time per user.
I think that's all the questions.
Great. So I'll resume. We're almost done with the co-browser. And one thing I didn't mention is that you also have annotation tools in the co-browser. So right now, just click on the pencil at the bottom, and you can add text. Just like in whiteboard, you can add sticky notes. You can draw, you can use the vanishing pen. What do you think the letter here should be? So you have a layer of annotation on top of the co-browser, which is very useful. You can erase all by clicking here, and you can collapse the annotation menu by clicking on this arrow right here.
Xavier, is it when you're in like the Abridge Academy, like her genially slides, are there two options for annotation still, or is it just the one?
Right. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, so here you do have, and maybe Katie can comment on this tomorrow, but indeed, you have, if you are opening a Genially slide in your co-browser, you can use the Genially annotations here. And I'm not much of an expert of it, but I assume it works like this. Yes. So you can use that, or you can use the Koala Go annotation tools here at the bottom. I assume there are pros and cons to both. I think the pros of using this annotation tool is that you and me, Alison, we can draw at the same time right now. Whereas if you use these annotation tools, it's either you or me who draw using that. Great.
Right now, so I can't tell.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I disabled your co-browser control, but you've been behaving well, Alison. Therefore, I am enabling your co-browser control again. Enable students drawing as well. Yeah. Okay, and then you also have the reward system and everything we talked about earlier. That's it for the co-browser. To close the co-browser, you have this big X in the top right. You click on this, and you go back to the whiteboard. Note that the co-browser, what's powerful also about it is that, I'm going to open the co-browser again. The co-browser will remember your credentials. So if you use Word-A-Wall a lot, or if you use Abridge Academy and you log in, you close your laptop and you come back, you get back to work tomorrow, you open the co-browser, the same tabs will be here, and you will not need to log in again. It will remember your credentials.
That's great.
Does the student have both tool options as well? And I don't know which tool options you're talking about. If you're talking about the annotation in the bottom left, yes. As long as if you collapse the annotation tool as a teacher, it will disappear. But if you open it, it will be available for the students. Yes. All right, so I'm going to click on the X to close the whiteboard, and you are now experts of the co-browser as well. So congratulations.
This is where I'm getting really excited.
Right.
Alison, are you getting really excited? Are you like getting adrenaline going through? Because this is where the playground is happening, right? Is that the next part?
That's the next part. That's the next part. So this is the boring part that I showed you. The last piece of Koala Go is the playground, which is, I want to preface by saying that you don't have to use Playground to teach with Koala. A lot of teachers actually use just the whiteboard and the co-browsers, which are very powerful tools, especially for ESL. The playground is where Koala Go becomes very different from other platforms out there. We built it because we think that the future of online education looks more like Minecraft and Roblox than Zoom. So without further ado, let's open Playground. You open Playground by clicking on the little squirrel icon right next to the co-browser icon right here. And give it a few seconds, and here is what you see. Jess, do I have a hard stop in 5 minutes? How should I budget my time?
So it's not a hard stop, but I mean, if you can cover the main things in 5 minutes, and then we can go on for an extended Q&A as long as you're available. Yesterday I stopped at an hour, but I did a Q&A for like literally 75 minutes afterwards.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's for however long you're available, Xavier.
That's okay. Okay. Sounds good. So I'm not gonna talk a lot about Playground because I know you've already been overloaded with a lot of information today. But I'm going to give you a high-level introduction, and actually on Thursday we have a in-depth training on Playground if you want to join it. So what you saw was that once I opened Playground is you have a little avatar that falls from the sky. And right now I have this avatar with my name on top of it. And if I move my cursor, my avatar looks towards where the cursor is. And if I click somewhere, I run in that direction. Oh, and here's Allison. And Allison has her own avatar. It's different and it's independent. It has free will and free movement in this space. You can zoom out and zoom in the same way you zoom out and in whiteboard. So swipe up with 2 fingers on your trackpad, you zoom out. 2 fingers down, you zoom in.
You can also use your mouse too. For those of us who aren't trackpad savvy, the
Right.
mouse works very well as well.
Right. So on the mouse, the middle, the scrolling wheel will achieve the same things. Okay. So the first thing I would like to look at is this little eye icon. This is first person view. By default in the Playground, you are in top-down view. So you have a camera looking down at your avatar. If you click on the first person view on the eye, you now have a camera above your forehead. Just picture like a GoPro, and you can move around by using the up, down, left, and right arrows on your keyboard. So here I'm up arrow, I'm moving towards Allison. All right, and so you choose if you prefer top-down view or first-person view. Those are your 2 options. I prefer first-person view, and I know a lot of teachers prefer top-down view. And you can look up and look down by using your right click on your mouse or 2 fingers press on your trackpad and hold, and then swipe up or swipe down. So 2 fingers, look up, look down, look left, look right. Is everybody overwhelmed yet, or how are we doing out there?
Excited. Brenda
Excited?
said she would end up in the ocean. Tell us what happens when you end up in the ocean, because I tried it.
Yes. Okay, good point. So in the good news is that in Playground you can't die. If you fall off the cliff, you come back to life immediately and you fall from the sky. Isn't that nice?
It's very nice.
And not good at gaming. Yes. So yeah. So if you've done some gaming in the past, this is you're going to be comfortable with this. If you haven't, it will be a little bit of a learning curve, but it's absolutely achievable. You can customize your avatar by clicking here. So you open this and there will be a menu to change your skin tone, cheeks, lips, etc., etc. And you'll see your avatar change. And the system will remember your avatar and your student's avatar. So when they come back next week, they'll be like, oh yeah, I want to go back to Playground. And they'll find their avatars.
Xavier, I can see a few of the teachers here being a bit concerned, maybe sharing some of the parents' concerns of what is the point of having a playground. Could you maybe just reflect on some educational activities that you can do in the playground?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a very good point. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to work on the blackboard with my student Allison, and we're going to do a basic spelling exercise, for instance. Click on Focus Tool and highlight this area, this blackboard, and then click. As soon as you click, it puts you in full screen mode for you and your students, and we're just looking at this blackboard. And now we can start working. So I clicked on this little icon here, and then we can, let's start with sticky notes. We are going to ask Allison to spell the word dog. Could you please spell dog, Allison? Congratulations.
Thank you.
And 1 gem for you.
Oh, yeah.
So this is one way to do a very basic exercise. You can also go to image library and you can add images. You can add actually worksheets. A lot of the things that you can do in whiteboard can be done in the playground. So it just makes it very different from their standard class. And it's really up to you on how you want to use the playground. Like you can say, it can be full immersion. You can say, hey, like you're teaching languages, right? The best way to teach language is full immersion. The best way to learn French is to get lost in the middle of Paris, where people are not very nice and they don't speak very good English, and you're looking for your train station, so you have to navigate yourself and find your own way. So here in the playground, you can say, okay, Allison, follow me, turn right, turn left, look at this. What is this letter? So you can have really immersive conversations for beginners. And I don't want to get too deep into the playground, but everything in the playground is customizable. You can create any worlds you want. You can create any images you want. And actually, Allison, maybe I'll let you comment here because you're a fantastic creator and you have your content on the Koala Marketplace. Do you want to chip in?
Sure. I think as you get more comfortable with this, you can build things that will, like if you're talking about the vocabulary is about the family, you can build a little home and have your family in there. You can ask questions in there. And so they are definitely remembering things much better than if you're just talking about them or just showing them on, on a PDF form or whatever. And I'll say, I have one student from China, and he and I have worked since VIP Kid days, which was, I think we started probably 2018, somewhere in there. And he couldn't focus on anything. I mean, I've worked with him for so long, but ever since like this June, we started working on building these places. He gets excited about it, first of all. And if I ever build anything new, he wants to run around and see everything. But then once we get into the learning, he remembers so many things, and so many things that are just not necessarily in the lesson. We're just chatting, and the next day he'll come back in and he'll say, where's the magic door? We were just chatting about something, and he remembers all that incidental language. So it's really got a lot of opportunities in there.
Yeah. So we only scratch the surface of Playground. There's tons of features, which we'll talk more about during our training on Thursday, if you want to join us. I'm going to wrap up this training now because this was a lot of information. I'm going to put a little check mark here next to Playground because we covered Playground. And finally, I'm just going to share again this form in the chat. If you want a free month of Koala Go Pro to play around, put your name and email in this form that I just put in the chat. All right, Jess, I'm done with the training. Maybe should we do questions?
Yeah, there's a few questions in the chat. I'm just replying to some now. Someone is asking, is it possible to have unlimited time lessons on the free plan? I think you mentioned that is possible. There's no limit on time like there is on something like Zoom where you get kicked out after 40 minutes.
Correct. No limits on the free plan. Let me look.
Just going through some more. Some of the students here have already just joined the pro, which is exciting. So
Nice.
maybe what we can do is if you can send the link for signing up so that, from here, maybe they can go straight into signing up for that pro account. You do have that bonus. So make sure, if you can send that form on here too, then people can do that right now. And I think in the Facebook group, what I'll do is I'll create a thread so that if teachers want to connect with each other, and maybe you can meet together as teachers and practice being a teacher and a student, that could be a really cool task for you to do today, practicing using the Koala Go program.
Yep. I see a question from Lauren. Do you think this will help students with learning disabilities? Absolutely. And actually, we built Koala initially for kids with dyslexia, and it's had a lot of early success with kids with autism, on the autism spectrum. So yes, the playground vibe is really great for kids who have some form of anxiety associated with a traditional looking classroom. And if you put them in an avatar in a world that feels like a video game where they're comfortable, it's very empowering for them. It lowers their anxiety. It also puts them in a situation where they're probably better than you at navigating playground. So they become a little bit of the teachers, and it's very empowering for those kids. So yes, not every kid with every disability, of course, but with a lot of kids with dyslexia, kids on the autism spectrum, this is a very powerful tool.
I've got a really important question that's come up, and it's actually about the invoicing side of things. The fact that you
Yes.
guys actually do invoicing, and you can use WeChat Pay so that parents in China can use that, and then you pay out into PayPal and Wise. So could you just go into that, especially for the people who are interested?
Yes, thank you for bringing it up. I totally forgot about this. We know that for some of you who are not in a Stripe-supported country, for instance, it's pretty hard to invoice parents abroad, especially parents in China. So we build this system for you. Click on the 3 lines in the top right, and then click on send invoice. Sorry, first option, send invoice. And this will allow you to create a new invoice and to send it to your customer. So here, maybe I can do a quick demo. Let's say you want to send an invoice to your students in China. Just put their email, put their country, click on next, and it's going to let's say June classes, 250, and maybe let's say December classes. You set the amount, hit next, and here is how it works. We use Stripe or the Koala Stripe account to send them the invoice. So, and if we know it's in China, they're going to get a nice looking QR code that they can scan and pay with WeChat. We receive the money, and then we take a cut to cover the Stripe fees, and there's a 3.5% fee for Koala. And then we send you the rest, the 95% or so remaining, over either Stripe if you're in a Stripe country, or if you're in a non-Stripe country, we use Wise or we use PayPal. You decide. So that way, we receive the payment from the parents when they pay the invoice, and give us maybe 3 business days after, and we will send you the money. That way, wherever you are, in whichever country you are in the world, and wherever your students are in the world, we will allow you to send an invoice to them. With 2 exceptions, Russia and Belarus were not allowed. We have no payment system that works there, so unfortunately we don't support those 2 countries.
Xavier, I'm getting a few questions here. Someone is saying, does it integrate with Payoneer? I believe it doesn't. It's just PayPal and Wise. Is that correct?
That's right. What is the name of the service? Payoneer. Oh, yeah.
Payoneer.
We don't have Payoneer integration today, no.
Okay. And I know that you guys do have payments, but I know that with scheduling, you don't have a scheduling tool right now. But am I correct in saying that a platform like Super Teacher can integrate with Koala Go? They can use your classroom link, and then they can do scheduling with that if they want to. Otherwise, it's just manual scheduling with the parents directly. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'm not too familiar with Super Teacher's offering, but I think that's correct.
That's correct. Yeah, I've got mine on Super Teacher. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Or you can use Calendly for scheduling, or you can do manual scheduling with Google Calendar. And what's convenient about Koala Go classes is that because it's always the same link, right? In the calendar invite, click on invite student in the top left, copy this link, or if you're a student in China, copy this link and put that as, in the event as the video conferencing information.
Okay, are there any other questions regarding that with invoicing or anything else? I think so. Amazing. I think we've asked you everything. Thank you so much for helping us today to introduce us to Koala Go. It's an amazing platform. It's so wonderful to have had you come and show it. Thank you as well, Alison. I think a round of applause goes out to that amazing student. But we really appreciate you showing us this platform. So thank you so much. What I'd like to do is I'd like to just say goodbye to Xavier. And if anyone else wants to stay on and talk about the 4-week challenge or any other questions regarding teaching online as an independent teacher, I am going to stay on to do additional questions. If that's okay with you, Xavier, I think you made me the host. Is that right?
I think you are the host. Yes. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I will stay on for a few extra minutes if anyone has any questions relating to that or the challenge. All right. But thank you so much, Xavier. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Cheers,
Take care.
Cheers. Thanks. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, wonderful. So if anyone's got any questions relating to the 4-week challenge, which is starting on Thursday, do let me know. Tomorrow, we've got Katie from our Bridge Academy and we've got Brenda from Young Learners Curriculum coming to show us their curriculum. That is the curriculum that works with Koala Go on his co-browser. So it's an amazing curriculum. It doesn't just have the lessons. It also has like the workbooks to send to parents before and after lessons. It has videos, it has flashcards, it has feedback that you can use. In the 4-week challenge, I mentioned Super Teacher. They are going to be doing the training on Thursday where you have a scheduling tool where you can integrate Koala Go with that scheduling tool. Alison mentioned that that is what she uses with her Koala Go. It's just Koala Go doesn't have that scheduling feature. So if that's something that you're looking to do, that is also going to happen on Thursday. So if anyone's got any questions for me, I know that we did an extensive Q&A yesterday on being an independent teacher. If you want to ask me any questions, do let me know. If you've got any questions about the 4-week mini course that's happening on Thursday, also let me know. So you can write anything in the chat. So I've got some questions already. Thank you. Does Super Teacher also have a whiteboard? So yes, Super Teacher does have a whiteboard, but I would say, Koala Go has got the playground. So for younger ESL learners, I would say I prefer Koala Go. It's a lot more interactive. I know that you mentioned earlier, Dr. Christina, that you teach higher level students like chemistry. So you can use Super Teacher Whiteboard for that. But I mean, it is pretty fun, even for high schoolers, to use the playground, right? What a cool feature. Okay, Miguel was asking, with the 4-week challenge, is there any fee to pay registration? So if you are already an ITEACher, and you have already joined the ESL master course, you are joining the 4-week challenge for free. Okay, so Miguel, I know that you're already a student. You don't need to pay anything. That's fine. If you have not yet joined the master course or the 4-week challenge, then the fee is $249, and that is for the whole month, plus all of this other extra training that I've got inside of the course, which I know my teachers, have said how valuable that is. We've got a lot of different experts that have come over the last few months, and I've got that available as well. So it is $249, but that's going to be teaching you the marketing skills to find students and to grow with group classes. I know a lot of people are not currently teaching group classes, maybe because you're not sure how to find students or how to brand yourself. I have some specialist lessons on group classes in week 3 and how to brand yourself as a group class specialist, how to market yourself as a group class specialist so that you can get more than one student in your classes and earn a higher income. So that is the registration fee. How to register for Thursday. I'm going to put that link in the chat now. So it is in the chat. I'm going to put it there, but it's also in the mini course. So if you go into the mini course, it is in the header, it is in the footer. If you want to join that 4-week challenge, all you have to do is go to that course. You obviously pay for that course, and then it launches on Thursday. So on Thursday, we will be connecting and you'll meet with me and you'll be able to see us in there. Okay, so I've got a few students here who are registered and will start on Thursday with me. Yes, so that's you, Lorraine, it's you, Miguel. Yeah. Okay, Natalie is saying, would I need to use Koala Go and a bridge curriculum? So this mini course, it's free and it's showing you the amazing software tools that you can use. You don't have to use them. One of the things that Koala Go's platform might be slightly limited with, and maybe Alison, you can chip in on this, is Koala Go is a classroom that is based outside of China. I personally have VUV, which is a Chinese-based classroom, and I use that for busy weeks in China, like Chinese New Year, or I think it's like that light week. There's a few different things throughout the year where Koala Go sometimes won't be allowed to be used with the Chinese platform. Alison, can you nod your head and help me with this? So I use VUV. That is something that we're going to be looking at with James. Okay, he's going to be sharing with us how to use VUV. It is a free Chinese-based classroom, but it's very limited. It's very boring compared to Koala Go. So I have both Koala Go and VUV. Alison, do you have VUV or Class In, which is also a Chinese-based one as a backup?
I only use Koala Go, and the only time we've had problems was just this last holiday. This was the very first time we've ever had issues with it. It was the last holiday, and it was only in the playground. We could get into Koala Go, but we couldn't get into the playground. They did have a workaround with Koala, and they figured that out toward the end of the holiday. So I don't think it was something we got to use, but I think that they intend to be able to use that workaround for future holidays. But that's something that you definitely want to find out about before you sign on, if that's going to be an issue.
Yeah. So honestly, Koala Go is usually glitch free. The only time was I think 2 incidences. One was this year's holiday. One was I think the New Year last year. And to be honest, it's not just Koala Go. It happened with Zoom. Zoom also didn't let teachers use the classroom. I had to revert back to VUV when I was on Zoom. So you don't have to use Koala Go. The same with curriculum. I just recommend these curriculums because they are so holistic. They're so easy. You just follow it along. You just send the stuff to the parents. You just bring it up in the classroom. You don't have to lift a finger in order to use some of this curriculum that I'm recommending. Whereas with other curriculums can be difficult, and you have to create homework tasks and feedback forms and things like that. Whereas a Bridge Academy and Young Learners curriculum, you don't. That's all included. So they are going to come and share with us tomorrow. And it's going to be a really great time to see how can you use a Bridge Academy Young Learners curriculum in line with the Common European Framework, which is the levels of English that a lot of students measure up to. They basically can take an English level placement test, which is free, and then you can find the right curriculum for your students. So we did touch on that yesterday, and we're going to go into depth in that tomorrow for the free mini course. So do join us for that there. Okay, I can see some of us. Okay, Christina's just registered for the master course. Wonderful. So Christina, that's going to be amazing. Tomorrow we will be looking at Ivy's Super Teacher platform just to schedule things with Koala Go. So that's going to be helpful for you to look at that. Class In works because Class In and VUV are both Chinese-based classrooms. So if the non-Chinese based classrooms crash like Koala Go and Zoom, which is very, very rare, but it happens maybe once a year, then you need to maybe think about a Chinese-based classroom like VUV or Class In. They are based in China. They typically never, ever crash, but they are limited with what they offer as teachers to use. Christine, yeah, the Bridge Academy is amazing. Katie's going to share that with us tomorrow, and it's aligned with the KET exams, the Starters, Movers, and Flyers Cambridge exams. Then we're going to look at the Young Learners curriculum, and they have got curriculum that is also aligned with the PET exams, which is a bit of a higher level. So if you're looking at students who are a bit higher than the KET exams, that's also a really nice curriculum to consider too. Why are there different links for Chinese? Okay, so Natalie's saying, why is there a different link for Chinese students on Koala Go? So if you don't know this, China has something called the Great Chinese Firewall. And a firewall is a digital firewall that prevents Chinese people from going into Western-based social media. So if you are in China, you cannot access Google. You cannot access Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You can't access them unless you get something like a VPN. But even with a VPN, it can be glitchy, it can be limited. It's called the Great Chinese Firewall. If you're not sure if someone, like a website is accessible, you can just Google the Great Chinese Firewall test, and it will show you whether or not that website is able to be seen inside of China. So Koala Go, what they've done is they've got a specific website domain, which is the CN. It stands for China, CN, so that people in China can access Koala Go. If you don't use the CN in your web browser so that they can see it in China, okay, the Chinese students won't be able to access Koala Go. It's something along the lines of China is a difficult place to get into. They just make it tricky for Westerners to be able to connect with students there. So yeah, and that's why there's these workarounds and that they have to do it on a specific browser. Yeah, that was the long answer to that. So tomorrow, okay, no, Christina, tomorrow is a Bridge Academy and Young Learners curriculum. It's part of the mini course. It's totally free. Everyone should be coming to that. It's going to be amazing. Thursday is when Super Teacher is going to be on. Ivy has a lesson that unpacks how to use Super Teacher. That is a pre-recorded lesson because she's done a training with us before. So that is part of the course. I'm going to ask her if she can pop her head in to answer any Q&As. She is an amazing lady. She's founded Super Teacher, and it's a scheduling tool that you can use with any classroom. So you could use it with a VOOV classroom, a Zoom classroom, Koala Go classroom. And what it does is it helps students to schedule so that they can do it themselves. They can even do invoicing as well. It tracks it all, and then you basically turn up to teach. So if you are scaling with like a lot of students, or if you're doing group classes, having a scheduling tool is going to be really important for you to use to keep track of your admin. Super Teacher does work in China. It's also got a translation page so that parents can see that and it's translated in China too. But it's limited. It doesn't have the playground. So I think for younger learners, ESL learners, I would really recommend Koala Go, and then you can add on Super Teacher for the scheduling. Christina, I know that you mentioned you're teaching A-level students and higher level students. Then you can use Super Teacher as well. Yeah. Okay, pencil space is worth looking at. I have heard about pencil spaces. I don't know much about them, Sandy, so you can check that out. There's a lot of things out there. These are really the softwares that I have used in my own personal business, and that's why I can recommend them. Okay, someone's asking if Wise works in South Africa. Yes, so Wise, you can open a Wise account. The only thing with Wise is if you are based in South Africa, you can't receive money easily in like you can't receive money in like Chinese yen, but that's why Koala Go works in dollars. So you can receive money in dollars into your Wise account. It's a cheap way to also get dollars. And then from your Wise account, you can then send that into your local South African bank account. So when I lived in South Africa, I used Wise. I would be paid into dollars into my Wise account, and I could be paid out into my Capitec account. And it was the cheapest way to get dollars into the country. If you use PayPal to receive money into South Africa, they whop you with a massive, banking fee. But Wise is it's basically the cheapest one out there to get it into a local account. So I would say if you are in South Africa, be paid out into a Wise account, you'll probably save anywhere between $5 and $50 from that banking fee, just using Wise instead of PayPal. Okay, so sorry, Nicole is asking a bit about, I think it's Wise. So you obviously choose the bank account that's in your current location. For me, when I lived in South Africa, I did actually link it to my British bank account, and I chose the United Kingdom as mine because I'm British. And it did allow me to also order the Wise card, in which case I could just swipe the card, which was really nice. So that's what I did, Nicole. If you're in South Africa and you've got South African bank accounts, you're going to have to choose the South African local bank account. Yeah. Okay, so tomorrow's training, I'm being asked, it's at the same time as today's training. So whenever the training started today for you, that is the same time as the training tomorrow with a Bridge Academy, with Katie, and also with Brenda at Young Learners Curriculum. And then on Thursday, okay, it is a self-paced lesson, and that's happening at 2 o'clock. I actually have James coming to do the VUV. And so we've got the self-paced lesson with Koala Go. We've got James coming to do the live lesson with VUV. I'm going to see if I can get Ivy to pop her head in to answer any questions, okay? Because I messaged her this morning. She wished me luck with the mini course. We've got a really great relationship. So I'll see if she can pop her head in on Thursday to answer any questions regarding Super Teacher. Otherwise, she has got a Facebook group. She's really amazing. She's really helpful. You can connect with her. If you sign up for Super Teacher, she's also got a 7-day email that she sends to you, helping you to unpack how to use Super Teacher. But what I would do is I would watch the self-paced video of her doing the training with us. It is about an hour long, but it's very extensive. It's like today, what Xavier did with us with Koala Go. She does that with Super Teacher, showing us how to do the invoicing and the scheduling, and linking that with the Koala Go classroom, or, using whatever classroom you want to use. Okay. Yeah, it's also going to be on Zoom on Thursday, which will be in my link. Yeah. Okay. So someone's saying, Jess, can we take payments directly with Wise? So if you're asking students in China to pay you, you cannot receive money from Chinese yen into Wise. I think they might be able to send money into your South African bank account with a bank transfer. That can be one way that you can receive money out of China. I personally have used things like Alipay, and Alipay also can receive money out of there. If you're not in South Africa, if you're not in one of the Stripe companies. This is something that I cover in the challenge, is also looking at what invoicing to use. If you're in a country where you can use Stripe, that excludes South Africa, unfortunately, then Stripe is the best way to receive money out of China. You can use WeChat Pay, Alipay, you can do that, but you've got to learn how to do that yourself. And it's about 3.5%, probably maybe like 3.2% if you're doing like weekly invoicing. If you use a platform like Koala Go, okay, it's 3.5%, and it's kind of really easy for you to do it yourself. Whereas if you're setting up Stripe, it can be really complicated. I do have lessons on how to do that. But yeah, this is why you've got to decide on your invoicing. For me, I recommend using something like Koala Go, because then it's just so easy. You just go into Koala Go, you've got the 24/7 help. They can help you to set up your invoicing if you need to. You send that to your parents, and then they can pay you to Koala Go with WeChat Pay. Then they pay you. It's just so easy. So if you're getting started and you're a newbie and you're not that good with tech, rather use something like Koala Go with the support that you need to get it done. Otherwise, you can look at invoicing solutions along the line. I personally do use Stripe to be able to receive money out of China from my Chinese people. But I am quite an advanced teacher, and I've been doing that for a few years, and it was difficult to set up. It's not it's not that easy. I have got lessons on it. It's 3 lessons long to help you figure out how to use Stripe. But yeah, invoicing, you've got to decide what invoicing to use, right? Yeah, I do have lots of options for you. But yeah, we can connect. Okay, there is a question here. Thank you for a great session today. And will Thursday, will the webinar be using this link? Not this link. Today's link was with Xavier with Koala Go, because we had to host it on his platform today. All of the other sessions will be on my platform. Okay, you can find that Zoom link in the course. And then I will be sending out an email as well with those links and messages, just to remind you, like I did today and yesterday. Okay, Nicole is saying, I do receive money via my bank account straight from China. Yes, so you can do that. I think they've got to use Western Union to do that. And most people prefer to use WeChat Pay. It's just easier. Everyone in China culturally uses WeChat Pay to pay for most things. So you can still receive money into your bank account from China directly. And I believe, is it with Western Union that they do that? I believe, Nicole. Yeah, and again, it's expensive. So that's the other thing. It's expensive to do. So you might want to do like with Super Teacher, you can get bulk invoices and then like schedule them. So that's what we're covering on Thursday. And sometimes that makes it more affordable to do, like someone pays you for like 20 lessons and then that's scheduled over a few months. But then you avoid these big banking fees that way. Erica, is the Thursday lesson part of the mini course? Unfortunately not. The mini course is ending on Wednesday tomorrow with the curriculum session. As you can see, these are all of the other things that I'm going to be covering in the 4-week challenge. So if you do want to learn more about marketing and finding students and growing and scaling with these more advanced techniques, that is something that you will have to sign up for the 4-week challenge for. Okay. Christine, I know Stripe is tricky and difficult. It is. Yeah, it can be a bit tricky. Okay, Miguel, I'll help you. I'm going to enroll you. Okay, so because you're already a student, I'll help you with that. Don't worry. Okay, I'm going to enroll you. Okay, any other questions? I think I've just covered all of them. Thank you so much for staying on and asking questions. Vashti, I know that you're also part of the ITEACH master course. I will be enrolling you as well. So don't worry. Yeah, so basically it starts on Thursday. So the 4-week challenge is only opening on Thursday. So I will enroll anyone for that. Christine, I'm going to enroll you too. Sandy, I'm going to enroll you too. Yeah. So there's a lot of people here who are part of my master course, and this is one of the bonuses, is to be able to do this 4-week challenge. Eddie, what is the ITEACH master course? So I am a coach for independent teachers. I have been coaching them for about a year. So if you join that the master course, then it's been ongoing training throughout the last year. I don't know if any of my students want to comment on that, but we basically meet. There's Mondays with me, Tuesdays with an expert. Wednesdays we have an in-person, like we've got a few other people who are part of our group. So I've got Kerry on a Wednesday, Liv on a Friday, Katie comes and joins us to do Chinese based marketing strategies. Yeah, how do I join that? So I can get you the link for that. It is the master course, so I'll get you that link. Yeah, so just message me and I can send you that link afterwards. Okay, yeah. So that's Eddie. I'll just try and remember to message you. Yeah. Okay. I'll see if I can find that. Let me just find it for you. This is the ITEACH master course. Let me show it. So sorry, I'm doing a few things. The ITEACH master course, I'll just pull that up for you and show you what's inside. So here's the independent ESL teacher master course. It is aimed more at ESL teachers, though there are teachers here who are not just teaching ESL. So you can see we've got the Zoom meeting links for all of the times during the week. Training Tuesdays, that's my experts who come in. You can see all of the different experts. We've had some amazing speakers come and share with us, just like Xavier did today. A basic boot camp. So if you've never done this before and you're starting from scratch, this helps you to learn how to become an ESL teacher. You can watch different lessons and group lessons, and you can get a free TEFL certificate there, and that helps you to get started. Module 1 is your marketing message. It's basically what we're doing a lot this week, and setting up your software. Set up your software, sorry, that's module 2. We've got invoicing methods. So guys, if you were looking at invoicing methods, I mean, I really go through how to choose an invoicing method. Okay, so I've got this here. If you want to register as a company, you can use NiHaoPay. If this is one of your nationalities, you can use Stripe. If you can't use Stripe, you can use PayPal or Koala Go, which is what we covered today. You can also use Super Teacher. So that's just one of the things, like, to show you the type of coaching I give to the teachers. Look here, we've got Super Teacher. So this is the lesson that we've got with Ivy telling us about how to link Super Teacher. Yeah, there's Stripe. You can see there's like 3 different lessons on Stripe, using that for invoicing, because if you can use Stripe, it's good, but it's a bit of a learning curve. Yeah, and then we've got scaling financially through group classes. We've got lots of training on that. Finding students on Facebook, and that's what we're doing in week 3. Finding students on Chinese social media. The main idea for me is that some people have found that the master course, it's got loads and loads of information, which is really, really great, but it hasn't got a time period to it. So the 4-week launch challenge is doing this with a group of teachers for 4 weeks, where we connect every day, we meet every day, and we get it done. So that at the end of 4 weeks, you know that you have done, you know, what you need to do to set up as an independent teacher. So I hope that makes sense. That's a bit about what that is. Okay, any other questions? Let's have a look in the chat. All right. Okay, are the ITEACH master course group trainings different from that 4-week challenge? So yeah, so the 4-week challenge is basically over 4 weeks. It's the absolute essentials to getting started. In the master course, it is a lot of additional training that it's just add-ons all the time. I'm getting experts, I'm getting other trainings in there, you know, and we're growing with all of that. But the 4-week challenge, it's part of the master course, because it's doing it in a time period of 4 weeks. The master course is ongoing. So some of the students here, Vashti, I know Miguel, some of us have been around for the whole year, learning and getting together for the group trainings, getting together for, you know, the in-person trainings, online with me, Kerry, Liv. Yeah. Okay, Miguel was saying, Koala Go or Super Teacher? You've been in South Africa, what to choose next? So I try not to make it difficult to choose. Personally, I think Koala Go is really good if you're using the Chinese market. I know Alison uses Koala Go for her Chinese students. The only thing it doesn't do is the scheduling tool. I wish they did, because then I would just say use Koala Go. But with Super Teacher, they do have the scheduling tool, which is really, really, really nice. I think it also depends, like for me, they're both similar in that they do both have the classrooms and the co-browsers, but Koala Go has the playground. So if you're using like the playground for young ESL learners and you want to utilize that, then Koala Go is the obvious choice for me with that. Yeah, but I'm sorry if I've confused you, Miguel. You know, everyone has their own setup and you've got to choose what works for you. I hope that helps. Okay, how long do we have access to the recordings of the mini course? Make sure you do all of the different things that you need to do so that you can continue having access to the mini course for lifelong access to that. Yeah. So if you do all of the things in the challenge, then you get access to the mini course on a long-term basis. Thanks. Miguel was saying, really worthy, really worth. Thanks. Silly question. Has anyone used Koala Go for adults? So I actually initially thought that it wasn't really for adults, but after speaking to some teachers, you can use Koala Go for adults. I think typically they don't all use the playground area. So like Xavier showed us, you can use the whiteboard and you can use the co-browser and you can do screen sharing even. So you can do all of those things. If you don't want to do the reward system, you can take that off. Remember, he just pressed X and X. You don't have to reward your adults if they find that, you know, patronizing. But you can use it for adults. Yes, absolutely. So if you want to use Koala Go to teach adults, yes, you can do that. What scheduling tool do you recommend us to use? So like I mentioned, if you're using scheduling for your students in China, then Super Teacher's really good. But if you're using a scheduling tool for anywhere in the world, Xavier mentioned a few others. You can use things like Calendly or Google Calendar. Remember, Google is blocked in China, so you cannot use Google Calendar if your students are in China to do scheduling with. That's why I'm saying Super Teacher, especially for ESL teachers, like a lot of us here, is quite nice for scheduling, because then you can just send the parent like the link. You can also say like your course, you can say like what courses to buy in there. And then they can even purchase in there and then schedule. And then you can use your Koala Go classroom link to put in there so that the parent gets the link to the classroom, and it's all automated. So yeah, if you're teaching in China, Super Teacher. If you're not teaching in China, you can use Google Calendar or Calendly. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? No problem. Okay, I can see some of us have to run, and that's totally fine. Thank you so much for staying on. If you've got any questions, cheers, Vashti. If you've got any other questions, you're welcome to ask. Otherwise, we can wrap this up. But I really do hope to see you all tomorrow. We've got the curriculum that we're going through tomorrow. It's going to be really exciting. It is a really amazing curriculum, I must say. A Bridge Academy and Young Learners curriculum. Xavier did show a lesson from a Bridge Academy today and shows you how to use it in a co-browser like Koala Go. So the same with Young Learners curriculum, it's co-browser stuff. So you can use it on a co-browser, or you can just use it on a normal browser like Vuv or like Zoom. It depends what you want to do as a teacher. If you want to use co-browsers, or if you just want to use a normal browser. With Zoom, you can share the mouse so that they can like use your mouse if you want to do that. But co-browsers allow you both to have the mouse at the same time. So it's quite a nice feature. Okay, awesome, Miguel. Thanks so much. All right. Cheers, everyone who's going now, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, awesome. Thanks, everyone. We'll wrap it up. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for attending today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, that would be great. Awesome. It would be great to have you join the 4-week challenge so that you can continue meeting with us all the way through this month, getting your online teaching business set up. Wonderful. Okay, cool. See you, everyone. Thanks. Thanks so much. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.